Okay, what's up, people? Syntax error. This is kind of where I sit at with the frame. I've got her all stripped down, most of the way ready for paint for this. There's a couple things I got to change still. I'm real unhappy with the support bars that are just cheaply made out of this angle iron, but it was good enough to get everything positioned where I wanted it. Still have plans for this. A couple things I need to do before this whole thing gets paint, which is why I still have the front tire on it so I can roll it around. This is my buddy John's shop, and as you can see, with all the stuff in here, only one bay accessible. I got to move this thing around in here to leave space for other people. I'm going to be taking this out, reprofiling these supports. I'd like to use this channel here that is already there. I don't know if you can see that. Grind these out and cut some 3/4 tubing to go from here to here. As you can see, it's kind of got a profile difference, which is why we use this angle iron in the first place. To meet up, I'll probably build something that comes straight up out of this tube a little ways and then angles inwards and upwards coming up. Just try to clean that up. I think today I'm going to start tackling this rear swing arm, disassembling it and getting the shock off of there. And I'd like to polish my front forks or possibly paint those. I'm not sure about that. I'll probably end up getting new fork seals and rebuilding the forks before these go back on. There's not a lot of travel in these forks. They like to bottom out and deep potholes and stuff, so I mean I'm kind of limited. My whole bike that I built here out of this bike and a wrecked bike, a whole bunch of parts, I can literally into it, I don't know, probably $1,200 or $1,300 is all. This is my engine right here. Everything on the bike except for the frame is 2007 or newer from the last time I rebuilt it. My other engine, which is a GS500 Suzuki engine, dropped a valve shim into the motor, and it ate it up and trashed the whole motor out. Locked the back tire up on me and tried to kick me off of it about 80 miles an hour on the freeway. Wasn't much fun, but decided not to rebuild that one and bought a wrecked bike with a good engine in it. It's been bored out and had a big bore kit put in it. I left the pair system intact and I just put this little Spectra cheapo oil breather, valve cover oil breather filter on it, and it works real well. There's literally no gains from removing the pair system, so you know, I just left it intact. Had to convert everything over for the dual throttle cables, convert it over to the electronic tack, kind of hack together my custom wiring harness to get everything switched over. I upgraded the rear brake. I didn't do the front brake. I can't remember why. I think I didn't trust it because the other bike was wrecked in the front, and I didn't know if it would have some problem with that brake or whatever, and I didn't want to take the chance. The front rim was pretty well bent. The forks were destroyed, and I didn't want to trust using that brake, even though it was an upgraded brake. I chose not to use it, but that's all right. The GS500 brake is inadequate, and the newer version of the GS500 brake is also inadequate, so I don't see much of a difference there. I do have a ignition advance in the bike that supposedly is supposed to make this thing good for 14,000 RPMs. I don't have a tach to test that, but I consistently run this engine all the way up the rev line. I'm not nice to it. It's held up very well. Yeah, since I originally built this bike. It was just kind of a street fighter and a little ugly bike to piss people off. It's loud, cackly. That really just makes people mad. So, I mean, I beat the shit out of it. And now that it's getting all prettied up, I don't know how I feel about it, but it's time to get done. You put all this work into custom building something, and I suppose it might as well look pretty too. But I'm sad to see all my stickers go, and basically changes the whole mindset in riding it. You know, I always cared because I built it, but then it was kind of my rat bike, even though it was mechanically wonderful, above and beyond anything the stock bike could ever be. It's still just a rat bike. You can get on it and say, well, fuck it if I lay it down, because, you know, I ain't done the cosmetics yet. And now after it's done, we'll see how it goes. I've thought about just getting rid of this whole project and going to a bigger bike, but literally this 500 is so much fun to ride. The skinny tires, it lays over real nicely. It's tracks well on the road. Nobody seems to know what it is with the way I have it set up. I get a lot of, is that a Buell or is that a Ducati? It's a fucking Suzuki. But it's kind of got nicknamed the Yamakata Zuki, so it's my custom bike and I like it, and yeah, she's gonna look real pretty. I have a theme I'm gonna try and go with, which is a turquoise frame and then all gunmetal gray accessories, which sounds kind of weird, but I'll try to include a picture of what I'm hoping to achieve for the color contrast, which once you see it, it actually looks pretty good. So, yeah, let's get started tearing apart this rear swing arm. This is my little road box when I take around to work on anything buddies need work done, or if I'm over here in John's shop, because I don't like using his tools. Not that there's anything wrong with his tools, it's just whenever possible I prefer to use my own. Nice. Oop, let's loosen it actually. I hope all this is getting on camera. Chain off. Move that forward. Alright. Get our chain out of here, our dirty old chain. I'm gonna be replacing that. And the front and rear sprocket too. That's a pretty cruddy looking chain. That was the chain off of my original bike. And I bought it in a non-running state, very poor state. And that's the original chain, so it's definitely getting replaced. Now, we're gonna get this shock and the hanger off. Well, first I imagine I should take this off of here. Ugh. We'll try this first. See if they want to come. Oh yeah. If you don't have one of these while you're working on motorcycles, go out and immediately get yourself one. For all sorts of stuck fasteners, these are great. Keeps you from camming out the screws. I've disassembled this bike several times in the past year and a half, so I mean, I'm not too worried about it. And there we go. And we've got our shock off. Pull these out. Oh man, it's stuck in there. Maybe because that thing's fucking crushed. Suppose that might be it. I bet it is. Let's do that. Those are out. All right. There's one swing arm disassembled, and this will be a good time to show you why the impact, the hand impact, is useful. Like, I've never taken these off. If I tried to just unscrew these, I'm sure I'd cam these out. Yeah, those aren't moving. Put this on. There we go. Now you can see they're free and turning. Right. Oh, here, quick. You were trying to set this. Snap this tool here. You don't need out. And it came out. And it worked out. See how tough the effort is broken loose. Ridiculous. Right. This is entirely my fault. Sometimes, sometimes you just run into the inevitable crusty fastener. I happen to live right in the center of the rust belt, and if it gets out to 40, 45 degrees, I like to get my motorcycle out. There's lots of road grime. I don't exactly have fenders on my bike, as you can all see. I'll try to post up some pictures of the bike before I took it apart, so you can get kind of a reference point to what's been done and what it's been like to do everything. So for this, being as that it's aluminum, I'm probably not going to hit it with the Roloc or the Rotac, what I've been using with twist lock discs like this, or even some ones that kind of look like Scotch-Brite, which, if I can find some around here, I know I've used just about all of them. Here's some more of the twist locks. Just got a deal like this. Where is the Rotac? The Rotac is right here. So this is a Rotac. Just a cheap one, but when you're working with these, you'll find that even a cheap one will do. It tends to slow down when you put it under tremendous load, but I mean, for doing shit like this, it really works well. These things strip paint real fast, clean up rust, and it's kind of hard to get into these areas like this right here where this weld runs. This is cupped a little bit, and it's really hard to clean up